Hello, everybody. Let's see. We're live right now. Hey, Steve.
Hey Jody, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you.
Yes, good to see you.
That's a nice hat.
Oh yeah, I just got these in.
Oh, did you? I like
Yeah,
that one.
I need to send you a couple of them.
Yeah, because I've got a catfish hat on.
Yeah, you just getting
Happy
started?
Tuesday. Yep, we're just now getting started. I'll say hello to
Okay, I'll
everybody
let
in
you do
chat.
your thing.
All right. We got Chris Everett in, Catfish and Crappie, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, 3 nights. Catch fish with us, new member. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Burrito Catfishing Lady. She's the one who run the rod holders.
I finally was
Mike
able to send them
Sampson.
things out. I hope you got them.
Yeah, she said she got them. Mike Sampson. Then we got um, retired Rick. How you doing, Ricky Poo? Catfishing Cowboy. Hello. John Boy's catfishing. Mike Sampson. Stand 3. He's the one won the net and had you send it to Ed Evans.
Okay.
And that's I think Greenwell Fishing. Mike Greenwell. He's in here. And Randy Swain. Danielle Thompson. And there'll be more come in as we talk and go on. Any fin as possible. Appreciate it. Um, Ed Evans sent me a picture with his net. I'll send that to you. That way
All
you'll
right.
have it. 922, how you doing? River Rat 3030. So how you been doing?
Busy, busy, busy. It's
Yeah.
it's it's been crazy. But how about y'all? I ain't got to fish any. I'm sure you guys been fishing. How's the fishing down there?
I had been doing really good till the last 2 weeks. And I got sick a little, and James had his back done, and so we hadn't really fished that much, but we haven't done good. What times we did go out,
Oh, is that on
but we
Waspar?
haven't really went. Well, we went Sunday night Chattanooga a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and we caught 2 fish there, but we didn't really. Um, we hadn't
What
really
about
been nowhere trying to catch, good fish.
what about your
Just
Friday night thing? You still doing that?
yeah. I actually skunked
Skunk.
Friday night on it.
Hey, it can be done. It's don't feel bad. It can be done.
Yeah, we went above the dam. We went to like 3 spots, and tried and true spots that should have produced
Hmm.
and didn't even get a bite.
That's sad when it happens. My
And
mindset is, I know I've caught a lot of fish, but when that happens, my mindset's like, did you forget how to fish? What's going on? But I
yeah,
really do think it has something to do with the weather and the barometric pressure and
hmm
things I can't explain.
yeah.
Uh,
It's just some days you'll go and you'll catch a massive amount of fish, really good ones, and you go the next day and there ain't a fish to be found.
yeah, yeah. You go in there like the day before you catch all them fish. You go there the next night thinking you're Superman, and then all of a sudden you get humbled really fast.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but that's fishing, I guess.
hmm And I really don't like catching the small ones. Once you catch a big one, of course that's what you want to catch. But a 10 pounder, something like that size, I'm fine with. But them 2 and 3 pounders, I don't like catching them because I'm afraid they're going to slice me open.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even want to catch no 20 pounders no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're get off my hook. I ain't got time for you. So
Well, you don't get to fish as much as I do, but there's some
no,
nights I just want to go out and catch, and I don't care to catch a bunch of 5 pounders some nights, but I don't want the 2 pounders.
no. Well, if you're in the 2 pounders, you probably need to move anyway. I'd say,
Yeah.
or get you some light tackle. That would be fun. Get some light
hmm
tackle and tackle some of them 2 and 3 pounders on some
Yeah.
crappie rods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
can hear
boat
you doing
wouldn't
that
start
now.
one
You'd probably
night.
be giggling.
No way.
Uh,
I'd be like, no, not another one. That happened to me. My boat wouldn't start, and I was kind of stranded out in the middle of the channel.
huh.
and a bunch of channel cats moved in on me, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh,
And they was decent size, but it's just nonstop, and I was like, so I was casting as far as I could, different directions, trying to
right.
get out of them.
Yeah, they'd be fun on light tackle probably.
Yeah.
I know I went up to Great Lakes. I can't even remember the name of the lake or whatever, but it was Sandusky Bay.
Yeah.
And you throw 4, 5, 6 rods out behind the boat, and before you can even sit down or think about
Mhm.
throwing out the next one, you got 2 rods going down. It's
Yep.
crazy up there with channel cats, but they got 15-pound channel cats.
Yeah. I really got no interest in going there because of the size of the fish and how many you're catching. Because I go to relax.
Yeah,
I don't want to be just nonstop fishing for hours on end.
right.
So
Well, I
I
was on the
really
phone with a gentleman just a few minutes ago before while me and you were texting, and he told me he
Mhm.
went down to Louisiana this past weekend with his wife
Yeah.
and caught over 100 fish, 30 to 35, 40 pounds, just as
Wow.
fast as you can do it.
That's a little
Well,
different.
that's a little different. Yeah, yeah. But to me, I mean, as he was explaining it to me, that would be fun for the first 15 minutes. Kind of like
Mhm.
skipjack fishing is with me. I'm all right the first 15
Yeah.
minutes, but when it's a day that you have to cast 1,000 times
Yeah.
for 3 skipjack,
Yeah.
that's, yeah. But when you're catching so many of them, you kind of get tired of it, just like your channel cats.
Mhm.
But even the 35 pounders, they would probably get tiresome if 100 and something, a little over 100 catfish is what he said he caught.
Yeah. And
But
they
it's
give a
it's
good
crazy
fight.
down there.
Yeah. That'd be hard on your arms.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I seen somebody had a question in there a minute ago. I didn't.
Okay. Let's see if I can go back and see it.
Question for Steve. I have a 7/8 stainless steel rails on my Ranger. What can I do to keep the mounts from rotating on the rails? Ugh. Well, I'm not sure. I make a one for a 1 inch, but I don't sell a lot of the 7/8. I mean, I have a 7/8. I don't know if you've bought one of my 7/8 or not, but tighten it down the best you can, and it hopefully shouldn't spin on you. But on my 1 inch ones, I have a set screw in the bottom of it, and if you could probably take your bottom to your 7/8 to a machinist or something, he could probably, or you could do it yourself if you're mechanically inclined. Go to Lowe's and get you a tap and die kit and drill your hole through the bottom and put a set screw in it, and that'll keep it from turning. And that was for 3 nights.
Okay. You had Danny Stone come in and Don
Bobcat.
Johnson, stand 3. Yep. Bobcat's in here. Yep. And there was another question I saw. River Rat 3030, 922 Crappie Barbecue. Zed's place is in. Hello, Zed.
I like to know how
Greenville said,
Zed. I like to know how Zed got his cool text. Everybody else has just got plain text, and he's got kind of
mm-hmm.
a different font. How's that work?
I don't know how he did it. Hey, for Sizzle. Does Steve have anything he likes to do during the fall to catch fish from stand 3?
To catch fish, I just like to go out and catch fish if I'm gonna fish. I pretty much fish the same year round. I'm either gonna drag, suspend, or anchor, and I kind of let the fish let me know what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll do a little bit of everything until I figure out what's happening. But dragging seems to work pretty good in the fall. Deep water for me on the Tennessee River. I'll fish 70 foot deep, 80.
Annette Esmon's in here and Josh Thompson. Appreciate it. I started fishing, hey, hooks and hammocks. I started fishing a little bit different. I started suspend fishing on the ledges instead of, because I got that spot lock now.
Uh-huh.
So instead of getting in the shallow and casting over, I started suspend fishing, and it's been paying off.
I generally suspend fish all the year except when it's really cold. But if the water's 50 degrees or more, you
Hmm.
can suspend fish, and I do a lot of that as well. That's kind of where I am known for, suspend fishing. When I
Yeah.
first put videos out, that's what I learned, and I thought, all right, I'm gonna put this on video, show everybody else, and then I was winning a bunch of tournaments with it because nobody was doing it but me,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
started winning a bunch of tournaments and then sharing and videos and stuff, and then of course a lot of guys latched onto it really quick and they got good, so a lot of them started beating me after I showed them how to get her done.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of sharing tips and tricks.
Hmm.
People can take what you've shown them and put their little twist on it or whatever. I mean, you may be hooking your bait different than me, and
Yeah.
that could be the difference between me catching them and you catching them, even
Hmm.
though we're still doing the same thing. I don't know if it's the rig itself because I know people fish. I've learned to do it with a Carolina rig. It's because I was
Hmm.
lazy fisherman and would put it down there and it works.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys will put the weight on the bottom and the hook on the top.
Hmm.
But as long as it's catching fish, I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I do it differently, and like in the Mississippi River, I put the sinker on the bottom and put the thing on the top, just mainly because you're going 3 mile an hour down the river, and you don't want it to get if you want to get hung on the sinker.
Hmm.
So, but when I'm in a like Tennessee River, I'm all right with Carolina rig.
Yeah. When you fished with us that night, I never would suspend fish because they always got tangled up, and you told me I wasn't reeling my line up far enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing that, but then I was still getting tangled up. And then you told me the other day, I think when Hooks and Hammocks was on, that I needed a heavier sinker.
Yeah, you got to use at least an 8 ounce.
So I started using a heavier sinker, and I don't have them tangled no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So that helped a lot.
you don't want your line leaning that way. You want your line down as far as you can get it. I
Hmm.
mean, like a Mississippi River, I'm using 22s and 24s to keep
Wow.
stuff down.
My goodness.
Yeah,
See, that feels like a fish to me.
it does. Your pole's all bent like that even before a
Mhm.
fish gets on it. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of one of the techniques that works. Dead sticking is what they call it.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, you just like say learn the technique and then put your spin on it because some things
Hmm.
and you got to pay attention to your depth finder. If you're drifting down through there, do you drift or you just suspend on lock them?
Right now, I've just been suspend locking, but I'm fixing to start trying to drag and do the ledges moving.
You need to move. Yeah, you need to move at least 0.5 mile an hour.
Yeah.
That's why them heavy sinkers, when you start moving, they're not going to come behind the boat. They're going to keep staying down on the boat. But
Yeah.
you get on them ledges and just move back and forth,
Yeah.
and you'll catch a whole lot more fish. You're waiting on them, but you
Hmm.
want to go to them.
Yeah. I'm just hoping they swim by.
They're on them ledges. You just gotta
Hmm.
just travel the ledges and
Yeah.
until you find them. And sometimes, girl, I'm telling you, you'll have 4 poles go down all at once. Now what are you gonna do?
Giggle
Yeah.
and
I've, I've
laugh
had
and have a good time.
I've had that mess on video before where you catch them, all of them go down at one time.
Yeah.
But hang in there, you'll get the hang of it, and then there'll be a breeze. But watch your depth finder. If it starts going up, you'll have to lift them up, and drop them back
Mm.
down. If you're not sure where it's at, what I do, if you're not sure where it's at in the column, I just drop it all the way to the bottom and reel 3 or 4 times and let it roll.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're reeling up too much to get over that hump or whatever, and then you're 14 foot above them rather than being 5 foot above them.
Yeah. Well, I use the same, everything on mine's all the same line, the same leader length and everything, same reels. So I know I had to crank my reel 2.5 feet or 2.5 times to get it how I wanted off the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and then
that helps a lot.
you can go 6 or 8 feet off the bottom too. Them fish will come to you. If you've ever drifted down through there, you're seeing these lines will come up off the bottom, and they'll come up in you can see your line because it's a straight continuous line, but you'll see them come up as, you know, really high in the water column to look at that bait.
Okay.
So, but I wouldn't be 14, 15 foot up, and you know, but that does work too, because there's a lot of guys out there throw them noodles or jugs, and they'll have a 15-foot line underneath of it and still catching fish.
Yeah.
So, but my best luck has been 35, 40 foot of water.
Yeah. I've seen James throw out a little float, cast it out, and it'd be 4 foot deep and catch flatheads in 50-foot water, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So they do come to the top to feed.
Yeah, you never know where they're going to be. You just got to get creative and try to find, you know, if they're not biting in 60, 70 foot of water, then that may be the time to come up a little shallower.
Yeah.
Shallow water fish I don't do a whole lot of it. I know they're there. I've caught some in some shallow water before, but it's regional, I guess. I feel like it's regional, but truth be known, you could probably get an 8 foot of water on Tennessee River and catch them just as good as you can out in Texas or South Carolina on them big lakes.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to take the time to try.
Yeah. But it's hard. No, you know where they're for sure they're at. So it's hard to venture to shallow when you know they're going to be in that certain spot deep.
Yeah, you gotta make yourself. Now I did go fishing a couple weeks ago down on Nickajack with a crappie guy.
Yeah.
And he did a video on it, but he's really good with that live scope, and he was wanting to put some catfish on live scope. And I said, well, let's go to Nickajack real quick. I know a bank we can get on. Now that was really fun to do, to watch them, you know, and you can discover a lot of stuff just watching that live scope underneath to see what's happening. Because we found brush piles I never knew was even there.
Huh.
And we was catching fish out of the brush piles, and so that's another technique that people probably need to take a look at if you've got the live scopes. That's probably going to be a thing soon.
Mm-hmm. It's a good tool if you can afford it and know how to use it.
Yeah.
It takes a while to be able to learn to use it, I think.
No, it's easy as heck. Once you figure it out, because I've got one on mine too, and I didn't know really what I was looking for, because I kept seeing these guys chasing these fish on videos, and I'm thinking, that just seems like it's too hard. But once you get out there and do it, I mean, like crappie just hang in the water columns, and they don't really move. You can see their tail moving a little bit, but they're just kind of hovering. Catfish do swim. I've seen more catfish while I'm crappie fishing than I have catfishing. But you just throw to them and come. A lot of times you got the fish on before you see them bite it.
Yeah.
You'll see them come up to it. It's actually really easy to catch on to. But we're just trying. I mean, I've got the crappie dialed in myself. I just need to figure out how to. I bought mine originally to fish that standing timber on Wilson down on Wilson Lake in Alabama, and I've tried it a few times. But I guess the point I'm making is you just got to stick with something a minute. If you're out of your comfort zone, you got to go down there and try something new, and that's what we did with the crappie. We took one catfish rod a piece.
Yeah.
And I didn't take nothing else, no planer boards, no nothing, in case, we were forced to fish this way. And we were pretty successful. So if you can force yourself or make yourself to fish something new, I think you'll be surprised on what you can do.
Yeah. I'm going to have to make myself move. That's what I got that boat for. So I could move, So I'm going to have to make myself use it.
Before a lot of this new technology come out, the best technology out there was the GPS. But if you take your depth finder and you find a ledge and you go, like you're in 70 foot of water and you start going and it starts coming up into 30 foot of water, we'll mark it in between and then go down 50, 60 yards and do the same thing, come back, mark it again, and get you a mile stretch of river that you can connect the dots to. That will help you quite a bit too if you're not used to staying on them ledges.
Okay.
So each waypoint you mark 50 foot away from each other is going to be easier for you to head towards that and fish that ledge properly, rather than wind blowing you off. You'll know exactly where you need to be each time you fish that.
Okay.
that may help a lot of folks too that don't have the. Most depth finders today have a GPS, a mapping
Mhm.
type deal. So that's another little tip. If somebody's needs that, hope it helps them.
Yeah, it will me for sure.
I got faith in you. You've done a lot of this stuff on your own, including dumping boat in, taking boats out, and
Mm,
uh, there's ain't many gals like you out there doing that. There's a lot of guys out there fish, but
mm.
you're the captain. You do it all.
Yeah, I can do anything I want to do. I'm not used to fishing in motion, and that's something I got to start doing.
Oh, that's easy. Maybe I'll come down and fish with you, and we'll help you figure it out. It
Okay.
it's easy. It's easy. The worst part about it is the wind. If the wind's blowing you off a little bit,
Hmm.
that's the worst part of it. But yeah, you just
Yeah.
keep moving, you'll catch some fish.
Yeah. I'm always worried that I'm going to hit something. I'm like, well, what am I going to hit out in the middle of the river?
Right.
you
Well, you
know?
talking about doing it at nighttime all the time? That
Yeah.
might be a little tricky. You'd have to know the bank, and you'd
Hmm.
have to mark that bank already, so no, you're not going to hit nothing.
Well, I would start out in areas I knew,
Hmm.
you know. No, I wouldn't go uncharted waters, and
Anything
areas I
on top of
knew.
Watts Bar is going to be good.
Hmm.
On the lake itself, right there in that deeper water, this time of year for sure.
Yeah. And the traffic's died down a lot because of Labor Day, because no one
Yeah.
can have fun after Labor Day. They put their boats up.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. That once Labor Day hits, everybody puts their boats up, and I'm like, it's
Well, let them
getting,
let them roll with that. I've been happy with that for 20 years.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing like going out and having a lake to yourself, and you ain't got to worry about jet skis and a lot of these yachts, especially on Chickamauga, they got these
Mhm.
like boats that shouldn't even be on that lake.
I
And them
know.
guys come by throwing a 6 foot wake, and they just waving at you like, and
Hmm.
you like to wave at people when they go by, but I don't know, sometimes they aggravate me and they don't know what they're doing. They just think they're out having fun. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I gotta grab everything in my boat to hold it down.
Hmm. When I see that, I can usually hear that wave coming,
Yeah,
and I know just to go ahead and sit down.
yeah. But
Mhm.
yeah, it should get better fishing up there as the fall starts. But I've experienced this throughout my fishing career or whatever. Generally, when summer to fall hits, there's a little transition period in there, 2 or 3 weeks that fish just ain't right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's they're changing seasons down under the water or what, but
Hmm.
it's been like that. And it's the same thing with the spawn. Uh, right after the spawn, it seems like they need about 2 weeks before they kind of recover and start really getting active again.
Yeah. Last month, towards the end of August, I caught a flathead and it still had eggs in it.
Yeah, I've talked to people for years, and sometimes people think that, or I've had it suggested to me, and I kind of believe it, but they may have two spawns a year,
Hmm.
one in the spring and one kind of late summer.
Yeah.
So we was down Vicksburg not long ago. Casey Tudor caught a bunch of fish, and they were just eggs falling out of her.
Yep.
And that was like in August, I think, 1st of August.
Hmm. Yep. That's when mine was
Yeah.
August.
So
Yep.
they could possibly have two spawns.
That explains the bite sometimes, maybe too. And
Hmm.
there's so much bait in the water at times. I wonder if they feed up on it and they don't really need your bait.
And I think that's a preference each time of the year too, because a lot of you got your little fingerling shad that gets
Yep.
hatched, and you could put a big old piece of skipjack down there. But right now they're feeding on them hundreds of little thousands of little shad, and
Hmm.
the skipjack's not enticing them because everything they're seeing is shad right now.
Yeah. And then they got all that bigger bait fish right down there feeding on the small shad
Right.
that they can eat on.
Hmm.
So I think sometimes there's just so much in the water that it don't matter what you throw down.
Yeah. Why they got to hit my bait when there's 1,000 other pieces sitting down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to going fishing again soon. I don't know when I'm gonna go. I've got a couple guys want me to go out with them and fun fish.
Mhm.
That's kind of what I'm into anymore is the fun fishing.
Yeah.
I like a few of the tournaments still. The bigger tournaments are fun, but I don't chase the little tournaments like I used to anymore, or the local tournaments. I'll say
Mhm.
it's just a lot of work for me anymore. I'm getting older,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of work to fish tournaments. You gotta
It
be,
is.
but they're
It's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
fun.
expense. You got to pre-fish. You got to get your bait. Got to travel.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of commitment.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. I did it
You
in the
do
early
well. It's a
2000s.
commitment.
Yeah, I did it in the early 2000s up to about 2016, and I've just kind of slacked. But the business kind of dictated what I did too. The business
Yeah.
took off real good, and
Hmm.
now I'm stuck here where I'm at now, more than I
Yeah.
am fishing. So again, I'll tell all you people out there, if you're thinking about, if you just like to fish, don't get in the fishing business, or
Yeah.
you'll be
Need
making stuff
to-
for everybody else, and you don't get to fish no more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're gonna be calling you and say, "Where's my stuff? Where's my stuff?"
Yeah. I need this. I need that. So
Yeah,
I can fish.
right.
Yeah. Hmm. Since I got my boat, I'm doing better in the tournaments. I've got second, third, and fourth in the last three.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. If I can get three more finishes, top four finishes, I think I'll be in third place.
Is that the online tournaments?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now they
Yeah.
seem kind of fun, like because you do go out and do them at your own leisure, and you ain't got to wait in a weigh-in line, and you ain't got
Hmm.
to go to a captain's meeting, and you ain't got to do this and that.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of guys when they're going to these tournaments, the bigger tournaments, they want to catch bait and figure out where the fish are. They don't want to go to these dinners and captain meeting and
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. So, but
Yeah.
that's those online tournaments are pretty cool.
Yeah. This is in the one that you're sponsored, the Live
Yeah,
Fishing League. So I
Kevin.
wanted to be top, a woman in the top 10, but I was really wanting top 5, but top 3 pays money.
Does it?
Yeah.
How many
First,
more has he
second, and
got to
third
go?
gets a cash prize.
How many more has he got to go?
7 or 8, I think.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
That's I like that.
There's James. Hey, James.
Look at
Keep it
James.
down in here. You guys are getting rowdy.
How's it going, James?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I heard you had back surgery or something.
Yeah, they just took a bone spur out and tried to scrape out some arthritis and do a nerve block, but it didn't help too much. I'm still hurting, so I'm probably gonna have to get the fusion done.
Oh,
Be my second one.
it's hell getting old, ain't it?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna put one of those bed lifts in my. Oh shoot! Gonna put one of those. Oh man! Gonna put one of those bed lifts in my boat. So like I got the arm on it, so I just swing it over and grab the fish and.
Oh
whenever I have
yeah,
to hold
yeah,
them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
Yeah.
boom
Cherry
or whatever
picker.
they're called. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that new fish finder.
Well, yeah,
I
Humminbird's
got it
pretty
all
good
dialed
unit.
in now. Loving it.
We're good.
7:00, Jody. Hit the show.
Yeah. We got small water charters in here, Carolina Kayak. Appreciate you coming in. Mike Irvin, how you doing? Butterflies and Sunshine, Heidi. Let's see. River Rat 3030. Trying to see if I missed anybody. Jeff Bill, how you doing? Catch fish with us. Steve, I can't find decals on your site. Any idea when they will be available again?
I should have them. I see apparel and decals right now on mine. Oh, I don't have the decals on there yet. I'll do that tomorrow. I'm sorry. I thought I put the decals up there. I've had them. I was wondering why I ain't sold none. That's probably why. I got some cool T-shirts and some hats. But the decals I do not have on there. I am sorry. We'll hook her up tomorrow.
Bobcat. Steve, for Shizzle and I suspend drifted last night in the gorge and had a ball. They did catch a lot of good fish.
How deep were they fishing?
I don't know. I just saw the pictures.
I don't really know where the gorge is, to be honest with you. I've been all over Nickajack. I just see a river, and I know where one place is that like has 130 foot of water. I don't know if they calling that the gorge or not, but I keep hearing people talk about the gorge. Is that? I'm saying it's probably from Suck Creek to Raccoon Mountain.
I really haven't fished there much because I only went with James or somebody because my pontoon was so slow and it wasn't dependable, so I wouldn't get out and go that far in it.
Hmm.
And I haven't took my new boat down in it yet.
Well, Hooks and Hammocks was talking when I took them to Nickajack one time and fished during that thing that that YouTube thing we had back in the spring.
Gathering.
The gathering, yeah. They said they caught some big flatheads in the gorge, and I just imagine it's between Suck Creek and Raccoon Mountain somewhere.
Hey, Thumpaholic.
Nickajack's a good piece of water.
Verlina Smith. Yeah, I'm fixing to start heading down that way. I got some good lights. It's awful far to go if I have to call somebody for help. Hey, Stonefly.
Call somebody for help.
You just need to grab his boat and him, but y'all just both go down there, and then both y'all gonna be stuck. But you got people to call.
Yeah.
How far away is that from? It's just the length of Chickamauga, isn't it? What, 60 miles?
James. It takes me an hour and 10 minutes from Watts Bar to get to Chickamauga, Chester Frost.
Okay. So you need to go on down even below that though to get on.
Yeah, you have to go even farther. Hey, Daryl. Wabash Nate.
Now, me and James did that in a boat one time. We drove about 30 miles downriver.
You went on a boat ride like Gilligan.
Yeah, that's where the fish were at, though. Sometimes you got to run.
Yeah. Hey, Greg Burgess. I just got to, now that it's, good day fishing, because it's not that hot and you got all those boats, I can get out during the day and learn some different spots now.
Yeah, I like the sun. I'll get out there in 100-degree weather and suspend drift. Them fish don't know. Them fish don't know. You got a bimini top on your boat?
Yeah, but it's a small one. It's not that big, but it's better than nothing. Hey, Bugman, Moon over Miami. Thanks for coming in. I'm way behind in chat.
Oh, no.
I get to talking and forget.
I've gone down to that spot, Steve, a bunch of times since we went down there, and lots of lake lettuce.
Yeah, that spot's really only good when you got a little bit of current. You got to have current on that spot.
Hey, Kim Burst. Hey, Ryan Ports. How you doing? Steve, how did he like the live scope catfishing, G-style fishing?
Oh, I liked it. I'm gonna work on it some more. Yeah, I think there's something to it. I mean, but you could. We're wanting to chase them like you do you want to actually go see one and then try to chase it. But what we was doing is kind of suspend drifting and watching what was going on.
Oh yeah, Ryan Bortz had won a bunch of stuff and set some records, I think, in his last tournament.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's doing really good. He's kind of went professional fishing. That's really good.
I wish him the best on it, but he called me the other day and said, "You know what? You told me one time, if I like to fish, don't get in the fishing business." And I think he went and got in business with Catfish Sumo. BCAT boards. And
Mhm.
now he's making boards. And he said, I understand what you said now because I don't get to go fish this much.
Yeah. Steve Douglas, what trolling is the best, the Tarova or the Ulterra?
I'm going to go with the Ulterra, the old man's trolling motor. That's the one I like. You know, I've seen a lot of people have a lot of trouble with them, but I've had 4 of them on different boats, and I've never had any issues with any of them. So I always go back to the Ulterra just because I'm fish by myself a lot, and it's easier for me to launch my boat, spot lock it, and then come to the dock.
If you remember to turn it on.
If you remember, turn it on. I've only had to swim twice so far.
Yeah. Ted Allenbecker's in. He says, evening, folks.
Hey, Ted.
So
You
is
know, it don't
everything
make
all
no
set up
sense
for
with those-
CatCon already, Steve?
Huh?
Everything all set up for CatCon?
We're working on it. We're trying to get it. It's going to be a work in progress until January, like it always is. It's always the same.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Well, that's what 4, 5, 6 months. Yeah.
It'll be here before you know it, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're just working on it, trying to get it. We got the same people coming. A lot of the same people coming back. We've got some new folks coming back are coming to us as well. People I've never heard of before. So that's pretty good. The industry's growing.
I got a couple people that I've met on TikTok that has companies, and they want your number. And of course, I won't give it out. I told them they could give me their number and I'd give it to you. But what do I do in that situation?
You can send them my email, catfishinginfo@gmail.com.
Okay.
And they can just email me and let me know what they want.
They're wanting to know about a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hook them up. We've about run out of room last year.
Gmail.com.
Catfishinginfo@gmail.com.
Okay. All right, then.
Yep.
Here's a question. Hey, Smoky Mountain Catfishing. Does Steve have a dream fish he wants to catch?
Nah, I'm not really. I'm not into catching the big fish. Now, what I mean by big fish is like an ocean fish that's 300 or 400 pounds. To me, that's going to be too much work. I really like catching big bluegill and crappie and stuff. I like catching big catfish too, but I've catfished for so long, specifically catfish. It's a lot of fun just to go out and catch other stuff. Now, I went with a gentleman that I met at the catfish conference this year, on Old Hickory, and he took me out with some light tackle, a bucket of night crawlers, and some sinkers and hooks. And we went out and caught catfish, drum, and big bluegills, and that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Those drum are hard fighters on, light tackle. So that's a lot of fun for me. But as far as a dream fish, I guess it's been catfish all my life. I've already caught the dream fish, I guess. It'd be cool to catch the world record catfish, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The big fish that you have to work hard to fight to get in doesn't sound appealing to me.
Yeah, I watched them catch those online, and I'm like,
they got count clocks. Like 9 hours later, they're still trying to pull these fish in.
Strapped in a chair.
Yeah.
Then sometimes you got to worry about them coming out and hitting you on the boat with their swordfish. I mean,
right.
I don't know. I'm just not into that.
I mean, them groupers seem like they'd be all right to catch, but they're just so huge. Have you seen the rods they catch them with? I mean, they're that thick and 5 foot. That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, I seen them take like bodybuilders out to fight those fish, and they couldn't hold them.
Yeah,
they had to have people holding them in the boat.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So you think the world record catfish is still out there?
Huh?
You think the world record catfish is still out there, or do you think that the bigger ones have definitely declined over the last few years?
No, I'd say there's something out there bigger than 141 pounds or whatever it is. I'd say I don't know where it's going to be. It could be in Kerr Lake still. I'm not sure if they put that big fish back or not. The world record when they caught it, but Yeah, it's still just out there somewhere. I mean, there used to be, if you go do a little research, there used to be back on like on the Mississippi River when Mark Twain and them boys were alive.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I've seen receipts on the internet of catfish like at a market down on Mississippi River or something like that, 225 pounds. So
Yeah.
the fish might have been bigger back in the day, and they have the capabilities getting that big. But you got commercial fishermen nowadays and pollution, so I'm not sure. But I'm sure there's something 150-pound plus out there. Maybe people are just not using big enough bait for something
Mhm.
that big.
True. I hooked into one when I was on LG Bass's dock, and I had a big cat fever rod up. It bent it straight down like this and pulled drag, never stopped. And they're like, "Go get it, go get it." So I walked over and got it, and it was fixing to spool the line.
Oh,
And as soon as I touched the line with my thumb to stop it, it snapped it,
oh,
and that was the end of it.
where was
Never
that
even
at?
got to crank it.
Where was that at?
Curlite,
Kerr Lake,
but maybe Lake Gaston. I think that's what it was, Lake
Gaston.
Gaston.
Okay, that's the
And
one that guy that caught 2 state records
hmm
fishes in a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's the one you're always going to remember.
that was that was massive. I mean, just as soon as I touched the line, it was over.
Yeah.
That's how hard it was peeling it and everything.
You didn't run fast enough.
Well, it was fixing to spool it. I could, see it almost all the way
Uh-huh.
at the end.
Yeah.
And they're like, get it. And I didn't know what to do. I hadn't been fishing really that long for,
Right.
big fish. And bank fishing is different from a boat fish. And
Right.
I I lost it.
Well, that's the one you remember
Mhm.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't forget that one.
No. They had to be massive though to strip that much line. It never let up.
Mm-hmm.
Never let up.
Well, yeah, I've got a few of them too that spools you, and you wonder, your mind just plays games with you too. It was a world record, or it was, fish of a lifetime.
Hmm. Oh, we bent the pole down. The pole was almost flat.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
that's a big fish.
Yeah. It wasn't just standing spooling. It was like the pole was almost completely flat straight out.
So you
I
was
don't know how it
pretty
didn't
new at
snap.
that, but did you have proper equipment? Did you
I
have
had a
like
big cat fever and probably an Akuma reel.
braided line and everything?
No, I was running 50-pound mono.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Catfish fever says 143 pounds is the Bugs Island Cur Lake took all the way to Chase City for supply store to weigh it because it was only scale big enough. Oh, that big fish died.
Did it?
Yeah, a guy said they had to take it somewhere else to weigh it, and it died.
Oh.
It'd be cool. I could probably take pictures of that and let that fish go. I don't need to weigh it. I don't think. I don't weigh hardly no fish, so big fish is a big fish. I wouldn't want to kill it.
Wabash Nate, what fish would you like to catch that you haven't yet?
No, I'm not sure. I've caught about everything there is to catch, probably in freshwater.
Yeah.
I've caught pike and walleye and sauger and catfish, and stripers. I used to be a big striper fisherman back in the late '90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing what I can with that until it kind of petered out a little bit. I'm not sure. I mean, I've caught a fish fight's a fish fight, so I'm not sure what special kind of fish I could catch. Yeah, I'm not. That stumps me. I've never
Have
thought of
you
that
ever
before.
been in the swamps catching fish and gators?
No,
No.
no, no. I mean, I've been around gators when we fishing. We went to Alabama and fished. I think it was the Alabama River down in Selma, Alabama. We've seen gators down there. I just
Mhm.
got back from Vicksburg. We've seen gators there, but I've never been in the swamp per se. Um, Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm not sure what fish I'd like to catch that I haven't caught.
Yeah.
I don't know what's available. I don't guess, other than what I have around me.
Bobcat's asking about the sturgeons.
Now I've caught a sturgeon about 6 foot long. I got a video on that too. We was catfishing on the Mississippi River, and I caught it. But yeah, I guess that would be pretty cool. A sturgeon, a 12-foot sturgeon might be all right. Yeah, I might entertain that. Yeah, that's probably it. Thanks, Bobcat. And I've actually got a guy that I gave some rod holders to out there. He does a lot of videos out on the Columbia River, at White River or something. And that's what they do, is catch them big sturgeons. And he's invited me out there several times. But just a matter of getting out, because they're on the West Coast, out in Seattle and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Washington. So, but yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, the one I caught was, I don't know, he was probably that big around and 6 foot long. He was a real skinny thing. But then ones you got to get out by the side of the boat and hold them, and they're still 10 foot behind you, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. They're like dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. Bobcat done started something now. I done forgot about catching one of them. Now he's done started. I'm going to have to look into it.
I know where a wintering hole is for him on the Watts Bar.
Y'all got
They're
sturgeon on
not
the
that
Watts
big
Bar?
where we're at, though.
Yeah. Mine's
There he is.
like my biggest one's like 22 pounds, I think.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
On Watts Bar?
Yeah.
They say they got them in Nickajack too, but I've never caught one.
Yeah, they re-released them.
Have you got any
Try
new
it.
products in the works on
Hey, Stan.
your monster rod holders, Steve? Or
Hello,
any new
Jody.
gear? Or
No, just hanging tight with what I got. Things are starting to slow down. You know, when deer season hits, things slow down in the
you say
catfish.
sturgeon, and there's Stan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big was that one, Stan? How big?
222 pounds.
What
give
was
or
that
take,
at?
Give or take, but
What was that at?
it was about 212 pounds.
Where at?
Here on the James. That right here on the James.
I didn't know they had them either. I didn't know they
Can
had
you
them.
hear me? Am I froze up?
No, you're
No,
good.
On the James River.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You go.
He touched too many buttons. Yeah, if you catch one in Tennessee, you're not really supposed to target them. But if you catch them, they want you to measure them and take a picture and send it in. And then they send you a certificate, number certificate.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Well, I watched a little video last night about Watts Bar, and they apparently introduced walleye to Watts Bar on top of the sauger, and they got like 8-10 pound walleye in there right now. I didn't even know that.
There's
Yeah,
people
that's
all
what
the time
most
up
of
the
them
Watts Bar
boats-
Dam fishing for walleye.
That's what they're mostly up there doing is
Yeah, that's
fishing for
most
that.
what most people are up there after.
I thought they was after you talking about them boats that'll run up to the dam, throw some baits, and drift back.
Yep.
I thought they was fish for striper.
Well, they're after walleye. They're always like, getting walleye. So they pull a few of them from there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think they were stocked inside. I know they can get through and all, but I think they were stocked in Watts Bar Lake. They were pretty extensive about how proud they were of how they're growing and stuff. But I had no idea. I thought walleye was really a northern type thing.
I think the sturgeons are they planted them too.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, they say reintroduced.
Yeah, reintroduced.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why whenever you get one, if it's got a tag, they want to know the tag number, how big it was, where you got it.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, every now and again, fishing for some different stuff as a breakup from, like I say, I've been catfishing kind of professionally for 20 years now, and sometimes going out catching bluegill and other things just for the fun of it is relaxing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Catfishing's hard if people are not used to it. I mean, some like me, I live 4 hours from you all, and sometimes that's where all the bait's at. So I've got to run 4 hours and work hard to catch bait, and then go out and catch catfish. And the bait sometimes is not the best out there. It's hard to catch sometimes.
Yep.
So, but
Do
now
you like crappie for bait?
I haven't really used it. We're not allowed to use it up here. I know down in Tennessee they can use it. But I bet you it'd be good in some of these lakes around Kentucky because there's a lot of crappie up in here.
Mm-hmm.
I know, crappie hang around them trees, and I know the catfish, they got to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
They got to eat them. But up here in Kentucky, you can't even go out and catch a limit of crappie, clean them, and then use what's left over for bait. They'll get on you. They get
Yeah. I have people that would save them for me, and they would leave it all intact, and they just cut the middle off, but the head and then the spine and the tail would all be together because that's how you're supposed to use them here. You have to show that they're the legal length.
Oh, okay.
But that's a massive bait by the time you put all that on your hook.
Yeah. Huh. I didn't know that. I thought you could just use crappie and cut it up, and this is crappie.
You have to show it's the legal length. And the only way you do that is if it's
that
all
it was at least
intact.
10 inches or bigger.
Mm-hmm.
What if you throw it down and he bites the end of that tail off and you still got a head left? You want to throw him out again.
Yeah.
Some of these rules are crazy.
Hey, Ernie
Some of them
Brown.
are crazy. Somebody says they work good in the wintertime.
I've caught a couple things on them, but usually they don't work that great for me. But everybody says it's a great catfish bait, but I can't get them to bite it.
Well, I've had the
I've
same
done
thing
good
with
crappie.
white bass. Everybody says white bass. They won't go to Tennessee River if they ain't got no white bass. I've not caught anything on white bass.
I have a little, but I don't like using it because I get poked all the time. with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Skipjack's my number one bait, and then I'll use some bluegill.
Mm-hmm. If you get a hold of some big gizzard shad, that's good bait too.
Yeah, I have trouble catching those. One thing I'd like to learn is like on the sonar, you'll find bait and then they throw their cast net on it and get it, but I can't do that. I can't seem to know where they're at when I throw.
Yeah, it's they're not as thick as they used to be. I can remember they used to go up the dams and guys would just dip net them right by the dam and fill John boats up to get shad guts to put in jars to sell to people.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the Asian carp population too, has knocked them all down. But a lot of times you can find them big gizzard shad in like the Tennessee River in the wintertime. They really group up in schools on points, and then you can find them that way. But yeah, shad's pretty good. I mean, chicken's good. I hate to say it, I don't use a lot of chicken, but I've caught fish on chicken too, in a bind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it because I used to hear people talking about ivory soap years ago. My grandpa used to swear by ivory soap for catfish. And I thought about going out there and just trying that. I've seen Chris Flores do one on WD-40 one time. I thought, why not do one on ivory soap?
Yeah.
Actually, I think with the ivory soap, I think they make it differently now. Back in the day, they used to use a lot of lard.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But now they make it differently, so it's not good.
Not the
or
same.
as good.
Yeah.
There's your new product. You can make your own soap and sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
It's
sister
a
makes homemade
monster
soap.
wide bar of.
Yeah. Well, you could probably do that, I guess. I wouldn't. I mean, I was telling my wife the other day the way things are in the world and the way prices are, we need to probably start canning and stuff. I ain't even smart enough to can, but I'd have to learn how to make the soap, and it's probably kind of like canning or preserving food somehow or another. I need an old person to show me one time how to do it, and that remembers how to do it. And I think we're losing all that. If this grid goes down, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but our internet went down maybe a month ago, and nothing worked. All the gas stations had, if you ain't got cash, you ain't buying nothing. I mean, that put a hurt on somebody. But
yeah, it makes you think about that stuff, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody gives me grief all the time about just trying to maybe prepare a little bit.
Yeah.
Jody.
What? Kelly is old. She can show you how.
Yeah.
Danny said ivory soap floated.
Yeah, I can remember that's my grandma used to take us to Rough River and wash us in the river.
Yeah.
And she always brought the floating ivory soap with us because we drop it in the river. And
yeah. G-Style wants to know how big live bait can be for massive catfish. Hey, Joshua Perham.
how big live bait can be.
Yeah. Hey, Parker.
I,
Benoit.
I can tell you a couple stories, but I have caught flathead with 8 to 10 pound channel cats in their face, stuck in their face. The
Yeah.
channel cat was rotting in this catfish. Why he bit my thing, I don't know, but
Yeah.
and I caught a 20 pound blue cat at the dam below Madison, Indiana, one time. This has been years ago. As I was reeling them up, I felt like that, and I thought, "What's going on with that?" When I come up, this fish was dead, not alive or anything. This fish, whatever hit that 20 pounder, you could see the marks all down through it.
Yeah.
Killed my fish.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I don't know what size is too big, but
Hey, Kevin.
I believe you could use some bigger fish for sure. I mean, I've had 4, 5, 6 pound carp chucked up out of bigger fish in my live well before.
Mm-hmm.
But most people use a bluegill, and I know people use small bluegills like that, and I know
Yeah.
people use big bluegills. But you could use a 3 or 4 pound carp.
I caught a flathead one day, and it is on my live. And of course, when I show it to the camera, I always open its mouth for people to see it. And I seen a tail sticking out of its mouth, and I'm like,
Yeah,
my piece of bait didn't have a tail on it. So James pulls it out, and it's a great big sucker.
yeah.
But
He
it
just
still
couldn't
hit my
swallow it.
cut bait with that in its mouth.
Well, that's the same thing with that catfish. That flathead, you could see it was an 8 or 10 pound channel cat in his, but I think the spikes got in there and he couldn't move. I
Yeah.
tried to pull it out, and I ended up killing the fish,
Yeah.
trying to get it out. But we ate it. But that's when I was first starting out. I was still cleaning fish.
Yeah.
I don't do that too much anymore. I have a hard time putting the bluegill on a hook. I feel sorry for the blue. I don't like killing anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what we got? Anybody got more questions?
I think they're talking about preparing for like CBs and stuff now.
Oh well, I
End of
mean,
the world.
I tell you that is. I've wanted to start to learn how to do some of that stuff. Back when I was a kid, we seen that stuff. We had a neighbor that used to kill hogs all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a special process to kill a hog the old way. You had to boil it to get the hair off of it, and then one thing I remember though about him cutting all the fat and lard off, he was making lard is what he's doing. But there's a little thing called cracklings. That's nothing but fried fat that you get out of a
Yeah.
pig.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I do remember about that stuff. But he would actually sugar cure his hams, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the things I probably would like to be interested in learning to do in my older age. Not that something's really ever going to happen, but just in case it does.
Well, you never know. They don't take the best care of the power grid here.
Right.
Did you ever
Well-
eat crackling bread?
Huh?
Crackling cornbread? You ever eat that? Where they put the crackling in the cornbread? That's country.
Yeah.
But
Well,
your country, you should have ate it.
That's probably pretty good, but I'm gonna tell you what, the cracklings you get like at a meat store or
Mhm.
Kroger's or something like that ain't the cracklings like a fresh right off the hog. I mean, I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
Can't
I
even
know what you're
explain it.
talking about.
But yeah, just the old ways is pretty cool, and people probably need to get back to some of that. To be honest with you, we've taken too much stuff for granted over the years, and now our skills are lost. Or mine is. I can still grow a garden. I can go kill something if I need to and clean it. I'm still that savvy, but preserving stuff,
Yeah. They still do all that here where I live.
do they?
Yeah. If you lose
Yeah.
the power grid, I mean, that's the end of it right there.
Oh, that's my money and everything. My money's all electronic.
Yeah. I mean, everything's gone. You figure you got no electricity. You can't get gas. You can't. They're not going to be running. They're not going to be filling the grocery stores up with anything because nobody could get there.
Right.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
Kevin said, I'm just waiting on the hot pink Monster Rod Holder edition to drop.
Oh,
I was just talking today about changing my color to pink, and James said, you can't. You don't have rod holders to match.
yeah. I tried the pink one time and they didn't go over. I mean, you had a couple of happy women, but most dudes ain't buying pink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're down to 7:32.
What's that mean?
We're at an hour.
Oh, I got you. Well,
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. I'm sorry, guys, I can't get on here every week because I'm kind of busy and 6:30 is a little early, but I'll get on here when I can, and I'll help you find some more guests. I talked to Terry Rogers a while ago. He'd be glad to do it. He's
All
a
right.
guy down in Western Kentucky doing real well. And we'll get some folks on here and ramp it up. But
It's the timing of the evening. A lot of people ain't off work yet.
right, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you're doing it at 5:30 your time, and I'm doing it at 6:30 my time, right?
No, I'm 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is. All right. Well, I appreciate you doing this, Jody,
All right.
and good seeing you, James. We'll be
Yep.
down shortly and fish with y'all again.
Thank you everybody for tuning
Yep,
in
anytime,
and
Steve.
comments in chat. Appreciate everything. And we'll see you next week, Tuesday at
Take
6:30.
care, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.